Okay, so the question on page 15 is different instruction. Okay, so remember to read that when you do the homework. So here it says simplify. So that's same as before, but it adds a new word, right? Evaluate. So when you see the word evaluate, that means at the end, your answer, you cannot have any exponent, okay? Answer has no exponent. So you want to go as far as you can, okay? If you get something like 2 to the half, then you want to leave your answer as square root of 2, okay? You don't need to turn into decimal. If you get something like 4 to the half, then you want to leave your answer like a 2, okay? You want to find the answer. So evaluate means you calculate the answer as far as you can, kind of like simplifying, okay? And you can also see that all the question has no variable, right? So your final answer will just be a number, okay? And then another thing is without using the calculator. So how would I know that you use calculator or not? Then you need to show the work, okay? Show steps. So that way I can tell that you are actually changing it. You are getting the answer without using calculator. So I will go through the left side, okay? The first column together with you, and then you guys can work on the other two, okay? So we'll start with question A. That's an easy one, right? 100 to the half, that's a square root, right? By now, everyone can do it right away, right? But we don't want to see stop there, right? Because square root 100 is a perfect square. So square root of 100 is 10. So leave your answer like that. Question B. Okay, we have a negative half, right? So we deal with the negative exponent first. The negative tells you can move it down, right? Half means square root, right? And then which is 1/7. So you see, you can show as many steps as you can, right? Now, as we move on to G, right? A little bit harder now. Okay, so I need some of you to give us steps, okay? Suggestion what to do, okay? Brendan, how do we start on this one? Question G.
You would flip the fraction around to make it positive, have the exponent positive.
Good idea. We like positive. So 4/9, now exponent is 3/2. Okay. And Aaron, after I flip it, what should we do now?
Square root the 4 and the 9.
Okay, so I'll put a square root on the 4/9. And then outside you have a cube. Okay, so the 2 in the denominator, it tells you you get a square root. Okay, and then the 3 represent a cube. Right, and Nathan, you want to take over? What do you do now?
You would have to do the square root of 4/9 first.
Which will be?
I don't know how to do it, but
the square root of a fraction, you could just square root each one of them. So you square root of 4.
Oh, it's 2/3, sorry.
Yeah, okay. So if it's multiplying and dividing in the square root, you can split. So it turns into 2/3. And then you cannot stop there, right? Because remember, evaluate, your answer has no exponent. Okay, so we have to keep going. 2/3 to the cube. Brendan, what's the answer?
It's 8/9.
Yeah, 8/9. You sure?
Oh wait, no, 27.
Yeah, okay. It's easy mistake, okay? Sometimes if you're in a rush, right? You might say it's a 6/9, right? Okay, 8/27. Okay, question J. Okay, question J. Eric, how do we do this one?
You put negative 49 inside a square root,
Okay,
and then
and
it's impossible because you can't square root a negative number.
very good. Okay, so this one, right? Because if you remember from last time, okay, I think it's above here. The one we put a star, right? When you get an even index and with a negative on the inside, then it will be undefined, right? You cannot square root a negative number, okay? There's no number that times itself can give you negative 49. So this one, you just say undefined. Okay. You can either write undefined or you can write it with a 0 with a line, a slash. So that symbol represents it's empty. There's no answer there, okay? Right, next one, question M. Okay. How do we start with this one? Yosher?
Cube root negative 27 in the bracket to the power 2.
Okay, so bracket to the power of 2. So the 2 on the numerator is the exponent, right? And then the 3 denominator is the index. So once again, right, if you look at J and M, okay, you can put a star on these two. They're very similar. Both of them have negative inside, right? Can we evaluate this one, or is this one undefined? Brennan?
No, we can evaluate it.
Okay. What do you get?
Yeah, the inside just turns into -3, and then the square is just negative. It's just 9. So.
Yes. Okay. So this one, because you have an odd index, right? This is an odd number, cube, right? Cube root. So it's okay to have negative on the inside, right? So this one is not undefined. That will give you a 9, okay? Question P. Okay, so how do we start on this one? Aaron, what do you want to do first?
Multiply the -1/3 by the -1.
Okay, now this part is a little bit tricky, okay? Because you have a negative at the front as well, right? So if you apply the -1/3 to the -1, then you are ignoring the negative at the front, okay? So because the -1/3 is for everything inside. So if I were to do this question, I would deal with the inside first, okay? So I will rewrite this as -1/8. I'll use the negative exponent here. Okay, and then outside you have the -1/3. Now the -1/8, you can put it either on the top, the negative sign, you can either put it on the top or at the bottom. I will just put it with the -8. It doesn't matter, okay? You can put it on either one. So that way, now this question looks, I think, more similar to G, right? If you compare G with P. They both have fractions, right? They both have an exponent. Okay, so you could follow the same steps as what you did in question G. Okay, so I'll let you complete this one. And once you get the answer, you can raise your hand. Okay, follow the same steps as question G. If you look at question G, right, first step is to flip it. After you flip it, apply the root. Okay, when you get the answer, please raise your hand. Only 2 steps. Only 1 person got the answer. Four people now. Colin and Eric, do you have questions? Okay, Eric, what do you do from here?
It's another -1/3, so you flip the -8 to the top. And then because it's to the third root, then it will be -2.
Yeah,
So
okay.
you can, like, 3 -2s is -8.
Very good. Okay, so cube root, right? It's possible to have negative on the inside, so this one ends up with -2. Okay. Next part, question S. Right, don't get intimidated by the decimal there, okay? So it's just a base, right? So the first thing you can see is they have the same base, right? Both of them have same base. So they are dividing, right? This line means dividing. So when you divide same base, what do you need to do? Nathan, what do you do with the exponent?
Subtract them.
Yep, okay. Can you help us subtract those two and let me know what you get?
Negative 3/3. So just -1.
Yeah, very good. Okay. Now we don't want to leave the answer like that, right? Because our evaluate means answer cannot have exponent. So if you flip it, right? Because negative exponent will make it flip. It will look like 1 over 1.2. Right? But then that's a weird answer. You have a decimal inside a fraction. So is it a fraction or is it a decimal, right? Or is it a fractional? Okay? So we cannot leave like that, right? So what you need to do instead is change the 1.2 into a fraction first. Okay? What would 1.2 in fraction look like? Colin, what's 1.2 in fraction?
5/6.
5 over 6. Really? 1.2.
Oh, 6/5.
Yeah, 6 over 5. Okay. So in 1.2, because it has one decimal place, you can write it as 12 over 10 and reduce from there. Okay. So that's how you can change to fraction. And because of negative, now you can flip. Okay. 5 over 6. Then that will be your answer. Okay. So these examples tells you how far you need to get to, okay? What will be counted as a final answer, right? So that's, you can look at these ones when you are not sure if your answer is the final step, okay? So I'll let you guys finish the rest of the question on this page. Probably take about 15 minutes, okay? Maybe faster if you can, right? So when you finish both column, you can raise your hand. Oh, Brandon, you already finished the whole page?
Yeah, I did it over break, so.
Okay, good for you. Okay, then you can have the break now. All right, so do let me know if you have any questions, okay? Okay, just checking what question you guys are on. Colin, what question are you working on?
Q.
Q. Okay. Oh, okay. And Nathan, how about you?
L.
All right. Yosher?
Oh,
Okay. Okay, Eric, what question are you working on?
Number I.
All right. Okay, by now it should be almost done. Sarah, what question are you on?
I have one more.
Which one?
Four more.
Oh, one more. Okay. Okay, I think there's only one question that's undefined, okay, in these two columns. So if you have more than one undefined, you have to check. Anyone has questions? We'll start going over the answers once everyone's finished, okay? And everyone will get a chance to share your answer too. Please raise your hand if you finished. Okay, let's collect some answers first. Okay, Brennan, what's your answer for B and C?
27 and 0.2.
27, 0.2. Okay. And Aaron, E and F?
0.3 and 16.
And 16. Okay. Yosher, H and I?
243 over 32 and 25 over 4.
Okay. Colin, K and L?
I got -7 and -0.04.
Negative 0.04. Okay. All right. So just waiting for 3 more people. Okay, Nathan, what's your N and O?
I got 1 and -3.
-3. Okay. Okay, Sarah, are you done?
I'm not sure how to do R.
Which one?
Oh wait, never mind. Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, okay. So what's your answer for Q and R?
For Q is 4 over 3,
4 over 3, okay.
and then for R is -8.
-8, okay. Right. Eric, what question are you on?
Oh, I'm done.
Okay, okay. T and U, what's your answer?
I have 1/3 for
1 over 3, like that?
yeah, and then for you I have undefined.
Okay, undefined. Okay, now for these answers in green, okay, does anyone want to add in your answer? Anyone got different and want to add?
I have a different one
For which one?
for R.
For R, what do you have?
I have undefined.
Undefined, okay. Okay, anyone else want to
I have
add?
I have a different one for you.
For you, what's that?
I got -0.2.
Negative 0.2, okay. All right, anything else? Okay, so you guys agree with everything else? We'll go over it, okay? Go over the steps quickly. Right, so the first one, pretty straightforward, right? Turning to radical. So this is a square root and then cube, right? On the outside. So that's the first step, right? You square root the inside, that will give you 3 to the cube. Then that is 27. Okay, very good. That one's good. Question C. First step, you can rewrite the decimal into half. So that tells us it's going to be square root. And then that will give you 0.2. Okay. Too easy one to warm up. Next one, same thing, 0.09 to the half. So you can learn from what kind of steps I show, okay? And then square root of 0.09 give you 0.3. And then next one, you have a negative, right? So it's in brackets. So make sure you include that under the fifth root. Okay, and then I will deal with the 4 on the outside because with the root, it can bring the number down smaller, right? You don't want to do negative 32 to the fourth first. That'll make it too big. Because we want to solve these without calculator, right? So a number that times itself 5 times to give you negative 32. This one is an odd number, right? 5 is an odd number, so it's okay to have negative. So that will give you negative 2 to the 4, okay? And that makes it positive 16. Okay, next one. Next one, you have a fraction there. So what you can do is denominator, right? Denominator is 4, so it's a fourth root. Outside is to the 5. So just like the previous question, right? Question G. Square root of 4 over 9, you can square root each one. So for this, 4 each one, right? So it'll be fourth root of 81, fourth root of 16, fourth root of 81 is 3 over 2. And then that will give you 2243 over 32. Okay, so far everyone got it right. Okay, question I will be similar to J, right? You have a negative exponent, so we can flip it. And then the negative sign, you can decide whether you put it with the 8 or put it with the 1, 2, 5, okay? So I'm going to put it with the 8. It doesn't matter, okay? So we flip it first. And then cube root of the whole thing to the 2. And once again, this is an odd number, so it's okay to have negative. All right? So we cube root each one on the inside. You get 5 over negative 2. And then that will end up with 25 over 4. Okay, so you can see how the steps can be shown, right? One by one. Next one, you can compare K and J together, right? The difference between these two is one has bracket, one doesn't, okay? So look at J. J is undefined. But for K, because there's no bracket, so the half is only for 49, okay? So the negative has to stay outside. And that will give you negative 7, okay? So this one is, you get an answer, okay? It's not undefined. Okay, question L. You have a cube root. It's an odd number, so it's okay to have negative, right? So this one is not undefined. Square. Okay, negative 0.008. If you cube root that, it will be negative 0.2. Right? And then because the negative is inside the brackets, right? So when you square, you should get a positive, right? Negative times negative, it will give you a positive. So answer should be a positive 0.04, okay? Make sure you change that, not negative. All right, any questions so far? Okay, question I. There's a negative exponent, so that's the first thing I deal with. So I flip the negative 1, it's still gonna be negative 1, right? Negative 1 over 1, flip it, is still negative 1. So this one, when you flip, nothing change. Okay, so this is the only time when you flip, nothing change. And then you can do fifth root to the 8. fifth root of -1 is still -1, right? And then to the 8, if it's an even number, the negative will cancel out, right? So that gives you +1. Right, question O. Question O, first thing you can do is you do the flipping, right? And then at the same time, you can bring the negative. Oops. Put the negative with the 27. Okay, it's always the negative you have to watch out, right? So I'm going to bring it down and then flip it, right? So become +1/3, and then that's a cube root. Odd number on the index, it's okay to have negative, right? So answer is -3. That's correct. Okay, so far just a little mistake on the sign. Okay, we got 4 more. So this one is -1/2, right? We'll flip it, 16/9. And then that will give you a square root, which is 4/3. All right, question R, we have two different answers, right? One is -8, the other one's undefined. Let's see if you can get undefined. We have done several things like this one. Question O and R are similar, right? So you can compare the way we did O, right? Then we know how to do the R. So first thing, let's make the 1.5 into fraction. All right, Aaron, what's 1.5 in fraction?
3/2.
3/2, okay. And then I'm going to bring the negative with the 4, okay? So 1/-4 and -3/2, okay? So now because of the negative, we are flipping, right? So be flipping become -4 to the 3/2. And then that is going to be square root, right? Denominator is 2 with the -4 and then cube. Okay, so you have an even number on the outside, right? Because it's square root. And then negative on the inside. That one is undefined. Okay, so be careful here. This is another undefined. So I guess I missed that one too, right? So this one, because of decimal exponent, you turn it into a fraction. It makes the index even number, okay? Next one is using the exponent rules. You have same base all around, right? So let's add the top. So when you add the top, it will be -3 plus 2, so -1/6, I think, right? Over 3 to the 5/6. When you divide, you will subtract. Subtract the exponent will be 3 to the -6/6, so -1. So 1/3. Okay, last one we have here is fourth root -0.0016. So this is even, right? Question R, question U are similar as well, okay? So fourth root with the negative on the inside, this one is undefined. Okay, so we just finished right on time, okay? We won't do the next page. Next page is similar, okay? Also evaluate. The only thing to watch out is question E and F. I think we'll go over those two. Those are the harder ones. Otherwise, everything else should be okay. All right, so your homework will be similar to this page. So make sure you study this one, okay? Or have it by your side when you're doing the homework. And next week, we don't have class, all right? So I'll see you next Saturday. Okay? Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Jason.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye, Jason.
Bye.
Bye.